Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Wi-Fi battle. Today we have week 11 of the NGDL3 versus USUM. He is a PokeTuber, so I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the video description, so you guys can check that out afterwards if you want. And looking at his team, it is very strong and well-balanced. Nothing I really wasn't expecting, knowing his full draft lineup. Looking at my team, it is basically the same team that I've been using throughout this tournament. And going into this match, I am actually 3-7, whereas my opponent is 6-4. So unfortunately, due to my poor record, I am actually mathematically eliminated from making the top cut of the tournament at this point. So not really any importance behind this match for me. As for my opponent, due to his record, he is more or less guaranteed to make the top cut, so not a really important match for either of us as far as the tournament goes, but nonetheless, it still should be another good match, and we're going to get into it. So, looking at the team preview, I really wasn't sure what he was going to want to lead with. He definitely has a couple of good choices there, but I just decided to lead with my Aggron as he ends up leading with his Charizard. So, turn one, he is just going to go straight for a switch, doesn't want to risk taking an attack from me, so he is going to come in with the Crocodile, and he is going to get the Intimidate to lower my attack. I actually just go straight for the Mega Evolution here into Mega Aggron. And I actually just decided to go straight for the Stone Edge, hoping that he would leave the Charizard in, knowing it would hit either Mega X or Mega Y super effectively, but not going to do much of anything to the Crocodile. Here he is just going to go straight for the Earthquake, trying to get as much damage as possible, but I am max physical defense, so that is only going to take me down by about a third, and then I am just going to take the opportunity to set up the Stealth Rock on his side of the field. So this turn I am going to go for the switch, predicting this thing to be choice item of some sort, so I am going to come in with my Trevenant, and he is just going to go for the Earthquake once again. So not going to do a whole lot of damage there to me. So this turn he is going to go for the switch, which is kind of confirmation to me he is choice item of some sort. He is going to switch in with the Scissor and take some damage from the rocks, as I am just going to go for the Substitute. That is going to trigger my Citrus Berry, which is going to put me back up to about 3/4 health, and of course I am going to get the Substitute set up on him, which is nice. So this turn he is just going to go straight for the Defog, and that is going to get rid of the Stealth Rock, unfortunately. I'm just going to go for the Shadow Claw in return, trying to get as much damage as possible on this thing. I actually do take him down to about 1/4 health with a critical hit, which was nice. And then my Harvest is going to activate to give me my Citrus Berry back, which was also nice. So this turn he is going to go for the switch. Not exactly sure why, but he is going to switch in with the Crocodile. Here I was actually anticipating the switch into Crocodile, thinking that he would predict another Shadow Claw on my side, so I go for the Wood Hammer instead, and that actually is enough to take out the Crocodile, dropping him down to 5 Pokemon, which was awesome. That is also going to knock me back down to half, which does trip my Citrus Berry once again to put me back up to 3/4, so pretty nice turn of events there for me. So now he is going to come in with the Sylveon, and he is going to go for the Hyper Voice. Unfortunately, it does hit me through the Substitute, so that is going to knock me down to about 1/4 health. I am just going to go for the Wood Hammer in return, trying to get as much damage as possible, and that does knock this thing down to about 1/3 health. I am just barely going to survive the recoil there with 7 health. He is going to regain some health with the leftovers, and then my Harvest is going to activate again to give me my Citrus Berry back, which I am going to consume immediately, which is going to put me back up to about 1/4 health. So this turn I am going to go for the switch. I kind of want to try and preserve the Trevenant, so I am going to come in with the Primarina here. Seeing the damage from last turn, it doesn't look like this thing is heavily specially attack invested, but he actually goes for the Hyper Voice again, ends up getting a crit, knocking me down to about half, which was unfortunate, but we are both going to regain some more health with the leftovers then. So this turn I do outspeed him actually. I'm just going to go for a Scald, trying to chip him down and get a potential burn. Unfortunately I don't get it. He does survive in the red there, and then goes for the Wish. which is of course going to get health restoration for one of his Pokemon next turn, as we are both going to regain more health with the leftovers this turn. So, of course, this turn he is just going to go for the Protect to go ahead and ensure that the Wish does resolve here. I decided to stay in and go for the Scald, fearing he might try to switch out into the Scissor to heal that thing up. I didn't want to over-predict. So, the Wish is going to resolve there, putting him back up to almost full, unfortunately. Then we are both going to gain more health from the leftovers. So this turn I am just going to go for a Moonblast, thinking he will most likely stay in, trying to get as much damage as possible. That does knock him back down below half, which was nice. He is going to go for another Hyper Voice in return, hitting me down to about a third health. And then, of course, we are both going to regain more health with the leftovers. So, once again, this turn I am just going to go for a Moonblast. Again, just trying to wear this thing down, not wanting to risk a switch here. I actually end up getting a crit here, which I believe did matter. It would have been close, but I believe that did matter in taking out his Sylveon there. But that is great for me. That is going to knock him down to 4 Pokemon, as I do regain more health from the leftovers. So then he is going to come in with Charizard once again, and he is going to go straight for the Mega Evolution into Mega Charizard Y. And I decided to stay in here because I didn't want to risk a switch, didn't want to give him a turn to set up, not knowing which Charizard set he had. So of course the Drought is going to activate to turn the Sunlight Harsh there, which is going to allow him to go for the Solar Beam, and thanks to that it does not have to charge. So he is just going to fire that off right away, which is going to be enough to take out my Primarina, dropping me down to 5 Pokemon. So then I am going to come in with Goodra. And here he actually does catch me by surprise by going for the Dragon Claw, revealing that he is in fact a mixed set, which was interesting. That is going to knock me down to about half, and I am going to go for the Thunderbolt in return, trying to take him out, but he does survive that with about a third of his health. So this turn I am going to go for the switch. I do want to try and preserve my Goodra, so I am going to come back in with my Trevenant as fodder, basically, as he does go for another Dragon Claw. Surprisingly enough, I do survive that in the red with 9 health. And then I am actually going to get the Harvest guaranteed thanks to the Harsh Sunlight to recycle my Citrus Berry and use that, putting me back up to about a quarter health. But not really going to matter though, since he is just going to go for a Flamethrower, which thanks to the boost from the sun is going to be more than enough to finish off my Trevenant, dropping me down to 4 Pokemon. So then I am going to come in with Hitmonlee, and he is going to go for the switch here, probably predicting a priority move of some sort. He is going to come in with the Lycanroc, and I am going to go for the Fake Out here straight away, which is going to trip my normal gem to increase the power of the attack, and also trip my Unburden as well to double my speed. Not going to do a whole lot of damage there, but thanks to the Unburden, I am definitely going to outspeed him this turn, go for the close combat, and although it is going to cut my defenses, more than worth it to go ahead and take out the Lycanroc here straight away and drop him down to 3 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with Scissor, and I am going to go for the switch here, predicting the Bullet Punch. I don't want to get taken out with that, so I am going to come back in with Aggron, and sure enough, he does go for the Bullet Punch, so not going to do a whole lot of damage to me there. So this turn, he is going to go for the switch, which actually leads me to believe this thing may be a choice item of some sort as well. So he is going to come in with the Cloyster, as I am just going to go for the Iron Head to play it safe here. That is going to knock him down by a little less than half. So this turn he actually is going to make a risky play and go for the Shell Smash, which is going to cut both of his defense stats, but then sharply increase his attack, special attack, and speed, trying to set up on me, hoping that I would maybe switch or something, but I am just going to go for another Iron Head straight away, and thanks to the defense drop, that is going to finish off the Cloyster there, dropping him down to just 2 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with Charizard, and the Drought is going to activate once again to turn the Sunlight Harsh. And so I am going to go for the switch here. I do want to kind of preserve my Aggron, so I am going to switch in with my Goodra, as he is going to go for the Flamethrower here. I am max special defense with an Assault Vest, so I am going to take that very well, but unfortunately he is just going to outspeed me this turn and go for the Dragon Claw, which is definitely going to be enough to finish off my Goodra, dropping me down to 3 Pokemon. but that is okay. I am just going to come back in with my Hitmonlee, and he is going to go for the switch once again, doesn't want to take the priority move from me, so he is going to come back in with the Scissor, as I am just going to play it safe and go for the Fake Out to knock him into the red there. I actually do get another crit, though. That didn't really matter there. So I am going to go for the switch here, predicting the Bullet Punch once again. I am going to come back in with Aggron, but he actually makes a nice play and goes for the U-turn instead, which is not going to do a ton of damage, but it is, of course, going to give him the mandatory switch, and, of course, that is going to bring him back in with the Charizard. So here he actually goes for the Tailwind, which was a bit of a surprise rather than an attack. He may have been predicting a switch on my side, but I just decided to stay in thinking I was going to sack my Aggron off, but I actually end up hitting the Iron Head and taking out the Charizard, which drops him down to just one Pokemon, which was great. So finally he is going to come back in with Scissor, and thanks to the Tailwind he does outspeed me, so he is just going to go straight for the Superpower, and that is going to cut his attack and defense stats, but it is unfortunately going to be enough to take out my Aggron, dropping me down to 2 Pokemon. So then I am going to come in with Hitmonlee once again, and again I am just going to go for a Fake Out to get some chip damage, and of course the mandatory flinch. He does survive that, just barely in the red, but that is okay. I am just going to go for the switch here directly into my Raikou, knowing I can take any attack this thing throws at me. My pressure is going to come into play, and once again he does go for the Superpower, which is confirmation he is choice item. That does knock me down a little below half, cutting both his attack and defense stats again, but his Tailwind actually ends that turn, which is kind of what I was lining up my moves for, so now I am going to be able to outspeed him with the Raikou, go for the Thunderbolt, and that is going to be more than enough to finish off the Scissor, and that is game. So I won that one 2-0 against Use, but that was a very good game. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.